Welcome to Mojo Shop Guitar, baby. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Well, we got a pretty good show for you today. See, we got a nice little guitar right here. This guitar belongs to a member named Jason, one of the members of the family, a subscriber. And well, he reached out to me, and he wanted me to take this guitar of his, fix it all up. See, this guitar was Jason's very first guitar given to him by his father. And he's had it a lot of years, and he wants to take it and do something special for it, give it the Mojo Shop treatment, you know, get it all playing real good and everything like that. And well, this guitar's got a lot of features to it. We did a lot of good stuff to it. See, it kind of goes to show you that you can take just an ordinary guitar and you really make it nice. Let me show you what we did to it. First of all, we went ahead and we put this really nice finish on the front of it here. And on the back, we just put the natural finish back on it. That looks real nice too. We put a nice little finish on the neck and on the back of the neck. But we'll just well, why don't we just start right here? We'll start from the top of this thing. We went ahead and we put some nice hip shot tuners in there. Those are locking tuners. They're the closed kind. They're really sure are nice. Now this guitar did not start out as a Fender, but you know what? He wants it to look like a Fender, so that's what it's going to look like, because it's his guitar. You can do whatever you want with it. So, anyways, we put this little Fender Telecaster custom on there, and we have a couple of the Graph Tech string trees right on there, and they look real nice. And so the headstock's looking really nice. You know, we went ahead and we did the Mojo treatment on the neck and everything like that. Got that all playing real nice. That looking real good. And these pickups right here, these are some Fender Telecaster custom pickups, right straight from Fender. We have some really nice of the alabaster knobs that we got, the ones that we really like. We've went ahead and shielded everything underneath there. We put some new pots in there, put some nice CTS stuff in there, and we have some nice Switchcraft jack on the end there. And we really just went ahead and went over this guitar completely and totally. And we have some lot of strap locks and stuff on there. Man, it really has transformed the guitar. And, well, let me show you a little bit more about how we did that, okay? All right. Oh, here we are, and we got the body here. You can see that we got the body all nice. Got it all stained up and got some clear on it. And one of the first things that we're going to do to this is we're going to put some shielding on it. So we go ahead and we take some of this gold metal tape here, and we're going to put that in all the cavities. Okay, and so we got the shielding all done. You can see that looks real nice. It's nice and shiny and gold. And you can also see that we put Mojo Shop Guitar on the body. Because that's Mojo Shop Guitar number 3. So we got we got it all shielded up. And what that does is that stops radio signals and stuff like that, stray things. Because sometimes when you're on a stage, you got a bunch of signals flying around. You know, they get caught up in the guitar. And pretty soon your guitar is got the vocals coming out of it or something. You know, so that's the reason we do that. Alright, and the next thing that we do is we start to clean out all the electronics. We go through all the electronics, or all the, the components, electrical components, and we clean them up, make sure all the contacts and everything on them are all clean, and make sure that they're nice and shiny and everything. See right here, we're cleaning up the switch with a wire brush here, make sure it's nice and shiny. We got some good contact between the plate and the switch. And then we spray out the inside of it there a little bit. Get that all nice and clean. Get the contacts nice and clean. And we'll move that back and forth a few times. You know, we spray in there real nice. Gets nice and clean. And then we go ahead and we put that 3-way switch right there in the plate there. It'll fit in there just nice and clean. And we're going to go ahead and put the screws in there. Get everything tightened down real nice. Get it all looking real beautiful. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the pots in it. We're just going to stick those right through the plate there, and put the washer and the nut on the other side. Do the same thing for the other side there. Put them both in like that. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're putting the volume pot. The first one is going to be the volume pot, and then what I'm putting in right there, that's the tone pot. And the reason we're doing that is because we're trying to add an extra feature to this guitar here. And see, what we did is we put that volume pot on there right there, and that way we can hit the volume and do those little volume swells. So that maybe gives an extra little feature there. And you can see that we got the pots lined up and going right back towards each other. So that's the way you want those. Then we're going to give them a little tighten down, but not too tight, just so this snug and it's not going to move around. Alright, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some tuners on this thing. We got those nice hip shot tuners. They come with that nice little plate there. You don't have to fool around with the drilling holes or anything like that. And you can see we already have enough holes in it. And that's the nice thing about that. It's going to cover up some of those holes too, and some of the chips around the things, things like that. It's going to make it look a lot better. And it really makes it easy to put it in there. So we'll go ahead and drop those in, and put the bolts on it from around the other side there. And then we go ahead and we put some nuts on the front of those tuners. That's how they get mounted in there. Screw it right down real nice. We'll get those tightened down. We'll get the rest of them on there. We'll show you what it looks like in the end. Alright, we're getting them in there. Now all we got to do is just tighten them down a little bit. Got them all in there. They sure do look nice. So that goes together real nice. And we're just going to give these a little tighten up, I think. There you go. That takes a 10mm socket. We just got a little 1/4" drive on there. We're just giving it a little snug down when we do that all the way around. And then we will go ahead and we will check for, check to see that everything's working smoothly on them. We'll turn them and make sure that they're not binding up or anything like that. We'll check the locking posts on and make sure they're working, everything like that. Just because you don't want to have any problems. If there could be something hinky here, and it'll cause the tuner not to work too good. So you gotta make sure everything's just right. Alrighty, well, it looks like the next thing we're going to do is the neck here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to, well, you can see that we have the Fender logo on there. That looks real nice. It's a Fender Telecaster Custom and a Stratocaster head, neck. But hey, this is his guitar. He can do whatever he wants with it, right? But you can see that we went over and cleaned it. We went over and you can see we put the stain on it, and we cleared it up real nice. We're going to be just doing a little bit of sand down the back of that and make it look real nice. But one of the first things we want to do is we want to just give it a nice wipe down with some rubbing alcohol. That gets all the grease and grime and junk like that off of it, and it doesn't soak in, and so it doesn't make the wood real wet or anything like that. It dries up fast, and it's a very inexpensive, effective way of cleaning your fretboard. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the neck for being level. What we do is we get this little feeler gauge right there, and that's real paper thin, and we just kind of try to slide it underneath that, see if there's any spaces between the frets and that straight edge there. And on this guitar, the neck was pretty flat to begin with. We didn't really have too much trouble with it. We just had to adjust it just a little bit to make the middle come on up, but it wasn't hardly anything, and it was pretty much good to go right from the start. And there you have it. We got it perfectly flat right there, all the way across, nice and flat everywhere. Now that we got the board all nice and flat, we're going to take this big fat marker here, and we're going to put a little line right across the top of all those frets right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back with our sanding beam, and we're going to sand off all that black mark right off the top of there. And once we get all that black marker sanded off from the top of those frets there, well, that's how we know that it's perfectly level all the way across. So we'll go ahead and do this, and we just got to be careful not to get any on the fretboard, but if you do it, we can get it off, it's no problem. Alright, and here's where we get out our leveling beam right here. That's got a piece of 400 sandpaper across there. It's been used quite a few times, so it's probably about 600 or 800 by now. But we're going to take that, and it's just that's a level that I got at Harbor Freight. Cut the ends of it off because it was kind of long. Put it in some double-sided tape and a piece of sandpaper, and there you have it, a homemade block, a homemade leveling block. Anyways, we're going to take this and we're going to set that right across there. And we're gonna sand those frets right off, sand the black right off of those frets there, and that way it's gonna make it nice and perfectly level. And we'll do this, and then we'll check, see how we're doing, and we might have to adjust the truss rod a little bit or something like that, just to, you know, maybe if it's not cutting in the middle or it's cutting too much on the ends, you know. But we'll get it so that it's perfectly level just by doing this. And here we are giving it one last little rubbing here, giving a little bit of sand, and see what we're doing is we're kind of feeling it now. We'll make sure that's going across there nice and smooth and everything. And there we go. We'll give it a nice little wipe down right there, kind of take a look at it, see how it feels. Now we're going to check it for being level one more time. We'll stick that across there, we'll get the feeler gauge out, and I'll tell you, we went across that, and that feeler gauge didn't go underneath there everywhere. That fretboard is perfectly level. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to crown these frets. You see that we flatten the top of them off, and this little tool right there is going to put more of a point on the top of the fret. It's going to file a point on the top of the fret instead of it being flat across there, and that makes it just so it's easier to bend the strings and stuff like that, and you know, it just makes it so that it has a more definite place for intonation. And as you can see here, you just sort of take the file and you run it over the top of the fret like that. You put the fret in that little slot in the back there, and there's 3 different slots on this tool here for depending on what size frets you got. This has just got some regular frets, so it's not anything jumbo or extra wide or anything like that. But we go over there and we kind of go by feel, make sure that it feels smooth as you're filing across there. You're just, you know, not trying to take a lot off, and that file won't take very much off. It just puts a nice little point on top of it, and you do that up and down the neck, all the way up and down. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take just a little bit of sandpaper, and we're going to start to go over it and kind of get some of the sides. And you see I got a little piece of 600 right there. That's nice, and it's been used. And we're just going to ball it up and kind of go over the top of these. I'm not really putting any pressure on them, but we're starting the polishing process. And basically what we're trying to do is we're just smoothing this neck out. We're going to make it so that it's so nice and smooth along the edge. You see I'm kind of getting the edge right there. And that's helping to roll the edge over a little bit. And just kind of start smoothing things out. And we'll give it a nice little wipe off right here. We went over the back of it with the sandpaper too a little bit. We're, you know, trying to smooth that out real nice. And you see how we're trying to feel it. We're just feeling. A lot of this is by touch. Okay, let's see. What are we going to do next here? Oh yeah, we're going to roll the edge. See, now I'm taking this little piece of metal. This is usually a height gauge, but it's got a nice little sharp edge of metal on it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of take that, and we're going to rub it across that edge, and I see I'm kind of rolling it over like that. And what that's doing is just kind of scraping just a little bit of wood off there. It's really controlled how much it's taken off. And it's just taking it off real lightly. You know, you could use a knife if you wanted to on this, but you know, you just have the edge up there like that. And what we're doing is we're rolling that over there so that edge is not so sharp and you know, rigid and stuff. Your hand is gonna be more comfortable on there. It's not gonna have that sticking out, sort of. It makes a world of difference. It's one of the things that makes a neck feel like it's like it's a seasoned pro, you know what I mean? It's like it's a professional, like somebody's, it's got lots of mojo in it, let's put it that way. It's got a ton of mojo. That's one of the ways we do it. And as you can see, we're getting down towards the end of the neck here. Those little spaces in between there. It's not real important to get too much on there. And once we get done with this side here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go do the other side up here. We're going to go across the top. And that kind of helps too, because your thumb goes over the top there. And it just sort of makes it feel, you know, extra special. Alright, now that we got that edge all rolled over real nice, we're going to take a piece of this Scotch-Brite pad and we're just going to sort of go over the top of everything. And what that does is it smooths out that, it's, you know, the Scotch-Brite pad has a certain amount of sanding action to it. And right now we're just trying to get the fretboard itself a little bit of a sanding, a little bit of a smoothing it out. You know, that part of the wood part of the fretboard is really important when you're bending, because that's got to be smooth. And if that's not smooth, then, you know, it's going to take a little bit of extra effort to bend that string. It's not going to bend as easy and as smooth, and it's not going to, you know, it's just going to be more, it's going to sound different. It's not going to sound as good. So, you know, we take the little extra attention to make sure that everything is smooth. That's what we're trying to do. We get a really smooth and glossy fretboard that's easy to play on. Alright, now that we got it all Scotch-Brited down and stuff, looking real nice, we're going to address these fret ends here. Excuse me. Yeah, we're going to get these fret ends. We're going to roll these fret ends. We're going to smooth those over. See, the end of that fret, as you can see, let's zoom in a little bit there. See, we're going to get that little, sometimes those ends of those frets can get little burrs over them and stuff, and we're just going to kind of roll that over with the file. That makes it so smooth, so that when you slide your hand up and down the neck, you don't feel any of that stuff. It's all real nice and smooth. You know, that stuff can be sharp, it can be sticking out, you know. We want to make sure that that fret is nice and smooth on the end. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do that right there, all to both sides of the fret over there. We're just doing this side right now. We'll go up and down, then we'll come back down, we'll do the other side of it, we'll go do the other side over there. We'll get them all like that so that everything is nice and smooth. Everything is nice and smooth. And now that we got all those fret ends all rolled over, we're just going to take a little bit of sandpaper. That's that same piece of 600. That's all, you know, probably about 800 right now. But we, you know, go over the edge there and give it just a little bit, so we're knocking down because that leaves little file marks. We're just making it smooth. You know, that's the whole thing. See, now we're going to take the beam after it. We're just going to kind of go over, because that's nice and flat, and it's smooth, and it'll help smooth out those ends and make everything so that it's, you know, it's just, we're just trying to make that edge right there as smooth as possible, so that when you're sliding your hand up and down there, it's going to be nice and smooth, and it's not going to, you know, it's just going to feel great. That's what makes it feel great. And now it's time to go ahead and polish the frets right here. We're going to go ahead and put just a little bit of polish on there. It makes them look real nice. You can see that it polishes them up real nice. We get a little black on the rag. That's the metal coming off. That's what's making it shiny. We'll go ahead and do this all the way up and down the whole fretboard. And we got to the end there, and we got these all polished up real nice. They're looking extra special, but the board is kind of dry. It's got a lot of compound on it and stuff, so it's time to take I'm going to use a dirty rag here. It's not, you know, not the dirtiest rag in the world, but it's not too bad. We put some alcohol on there and just give it a real good rubbing. We're going to make sure we're getting all the little cracks and crevices. And once we get it wiped off there a little bit, we're going to turn our rag, get to a clean spot on the rag, or cleaner spot, and we'll give it another wipe off, make sure it looks better. And then, you know, that's the rubbing alcohol works real nice, because it gets in there, it breaks all anything that's on there. It's going to take it off, and it dries real fast. So I don't have to worry about it soaking into the. I'm not soaking the fretboard, you know. Nobody, that wood does not really care for water too much. You know, it doesn't want to get soaked down. All right, now we got all like that, and you see it's drying right up, right before your eyes. And now it's all, you know, the wood is dry, and it's going to be absorbent here as soon as this rubbing alcohol dries off it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some we're going to put a little bit of love on there. You got to give it a little bit of hydration, and we use coconut oil for that. And if you'll ever get it out there, see, there you go, coconut oil. You can buy the stuff at the dollar store, don't matter. Coconut oil is coconut oil. We're going to take a little bit of that, we're going to put it on there. We're going to rub that all the way in. You don't have to let it sit and soak or nothing like that. But you can, if you want, you let it sit for half a second, but you want to rub it in real nice. Gets it into all the grains. And you see that coconut oil is solid right there. See how it isn't solid on the end? But as soon as he hits it with that finger, boom, it gets all liquid schmickled, and you know, it soaks into the wood. But then after the temperature, you know, gets back to room temperature, then it gets solid. So, you know, it's kind of, it soaks in, but it doesn't stay a liquid, you know. It's like an oil would. Oil would stay a liquid, you know, but this doesn't. So that's why I like this stuff. It does a great job. And you believe me, coconut oil is yeah, you can use it on a whole lot of stuff, believe me. Alright, we give it a good rub it in. We give it a rub it on the sides there too. We get a little love it on the side of the fretboard there. And now we're just going to take a rag and we're going to wipe it off. And look how much nicer that looks now. Oh yeah, that wood had a second to drink up some of that stuff, some of the oil, and it got in there real nice. But it's not excessively oily or anything like that. So we go ahead and put some coconut oil on it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of wax on this sucker. Make it real nice. Ooh, look how nice that's looking. Beautiful. Yeah, we're going to get some wax on here though. So let's get the wax out. Come on, Pat. And I guess I didn't like the way that felt too much right along there. You know, you give it a little feel. You go, oh yeah, that's still a little bit, you know, it needs a little help down here. So you give a little help down there, see? You know, you just want to make sure that you leave nothing, no stone unturned. You know, make sure everything's right. That's what we do here. Yeah, I see him reaching for something. Oh, he's getting out a buffing pad. Look at there, look at there. We're going to put a little bit of wax on it. We got some carnauba wax. That's a pure wax. There's no abrasives in it or anything like that. A lot of regular like car polish and stuff like that, which is what this is, has you know, abrasives in it and stuff that are supposed to, you know, kind of, you know, get the paint worked up a little bit so that, you know, you get better wax on it. But this right here is just wax. There's nothing in it. So we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of sealing wax on this right here. And you know, this is the same stuff you might use. It's on your floor. You might use it on any kind of wood. And you might use it on your car. It's just pure wax. We're rubbing around it. And what I like about that is it kind of fills in some of the holes or some of the grain in there, and makes it real smooth. It's just another way of making it real smooth. And the chrome likes to have a little polish on it. It kind of keeps because the metal on the chrome right now is a little bit bare from being rubbed and, you know, and polished and stuff like that, being sanded and polished. So we're putting a little wax over the frets to make them a little bit smoother too. And we're going to let this set for a few minutes, and then guess what? We're going to come along and we're going to buff it off. And boy, you're really going to see it shine, shine, shine. Well, I went and got myself a cup of coffee. See, it's got that little swirly thing in the middle of it there, you know. Little galaxy thing. I'm going to have a little drink of that, you know. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Okay, I set it out to the side. Alright, we give that a few minutes to dry. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get out the old polishing wheel there. The old buffing wheel. We're going to give that a good buffing. And man, I'll tell you one thing. This is the part. This is where it all starts coming together. And we're going to buff so that we're buffing so that the wheel is moving off the edge of the fretboard. And we're trying to keep it parallel to the frets so that we're not going across the frets. I mean, you know, we're not going the wrong way across the frets. We're going with the frets. See how I flipped it over there, so it's going to go off the top edge there. And we're just going to keep going up and down this thing. And you can see it's just polishing it up. Just, man. And that little buffing wheel there, that buffing pad there, I got that at Harbor Freight. You know, it was like $5, $6, maybe $10. But it's definitely worth it. It's the perfect size for going up and down a fretboard like that. I'm giving that a polishing. I mean, the grain's getting polished up real nice. The frets are getting polished up real nice. And, you know, with the wax and everything like that, man, that sucker's smooth. I'm telling you, it don't get no smoother than that. I don't see how you get any smoother than that right there. Beautiful. Hey, I do a pretty good job, don't I? Look at that. We're giving it a little bit of extra love right there. We're going to give it a wiping off. And I don't know if you noticed, we've already put the tuners on it in this video, but the neck doesn't have any tuners in it at this point. We did the neck first. You know, we did that part first, and then we put the tuners in it. But we filmed it. We did it the opposite way. This video was going to be 3 hours long. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, this video was going to be 3 hours long, but I couldn't download a 3-hour video. I couldn't, you know, export it. It just wasn't working. Nobody wants to watch a 3-hour video. It's longer than Gone with the Wind. Come on. So, you know, we had to bust it down. So, but I'll tell you one thing, that neck is just ooh, 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 ooh. Alright, I think it's time to start putting this sucker together. There's our body that we got all shielded up earlier. Sure does look nice. Boy, I struggled with that body right there. That's about the 4th attempt at making it look nice. Now we went ahead and we got the bridge all taken care of ahead of time. Put the saddles in it and all that good stuff. Got that all cleaned up and reassembled. And now all we got to do is just clear our path between the two cavities there. We're going to stick that wire in there, and you know, you got to punch a little hole through the foil there just to make sure you know where your hole is at. You got to, you know, because sometimes, you know, you get junk in there and the wire won't go through there. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to install this right in there. We're putting a little ground wire in there, and make sure we put a ground wire in, and we're going to go ahead and install the pickup and the bridge. And there we got the bridge in place right there. We're going to go ahead and stick some screws in there. Get that all screwed down. Want to make sure you use the right screws. And you know, you want to make sure that you use the right size screwdriver for the screw. If you try using a small screwdriver that's too small for that screw, you're going to end up stripping out. And if you try using the screwdriver that's too big for that screw, you'll end up stripping it out. So you want to use the right screwdriver. And you want to try to use 2 hands when you're screwing anything onto your guitar body, because boy, you sure would hate to have that screwdriver go all catterwampus and put a big old scratch in your paint job that it took 4 chances on, right? So we got to be extra careful, because, you know, we can't afford to make it, you know, we can't afford to hurt nothing. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and screw that in there, and you see we got the wire sticking through there. My guess is the next thing we're going to do, we're going to put the controls in. What do you say? Alright, we're going to go ahead and install this front pickup. We're going to put the neck pickup in. We get those wires through there. Sometimes those wires can be a little pain. And you know, they got to give you enough wire to get it through there and everything too. But we'll get it through there. Now this one was kind of a pain to, it wasn't a real pain to mount in there, but it gets screwed right straight into the wood. A couple little pieces of rubber underneath the spring, or underneath the screw. And it just sort of sits in there. A lot of times there will be a pick guard or something like that where it's actually mounted to the pick guard. And see, then we're pulling the screws through. But we're going to get that one all mounted in there too. That just screws in there. And here we go. We zoomed in a little bit. You see we're getting that in there. It just screws right down. It sure does look nice in there though, don't it? It's going to be real classy. And you see we got that pickup in there, and it looks like we're getting ready to put a neck on there. Hey, it's going to become a guitar. Looky, looky there. We're going to go ahead and put that neck on there. Now we're going to go ahead and put the screws through the body. Okay, so now as you can see on the back of this guitar here, I got the neck plate, or the, you know, the neck plate there on it. And well, we got a little surprise underneath there, because see, this guitar was given to Jason by his father when he was young, and you know, I wanted to have something special, so what we did is I went ahead and put to Jason from Dad underneath there, you know, as a little surprise. So maybe he'll take it apart one day, you know, and find that underneath there. But I thought that was something cool. I didn't want to put it in an obvious place. But, you know, it's those little touches that make things personal. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick the screws through here first. And what we do is we stick the screws through and we get those. And we want to make sure that they're all the right size, too, that they're all the same size. Sometimes you get screws that are a little bit longer than other ones. And, you know, so you got to make sure you're doing things right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put the screws in there. And we're going to put those in so that they're barely starting to stick through the other side of this body, so that they're ready to go into that neck. 'Cause that's where I want them. So I'm going to stick my finger around there, and I'm going to screw those down until I can feel. See, I put my finger underneath there. I'm going to feel it and put it down till it's hitting my finger. I do that on all four. Then I'll be ready to put the neck in. All right, well, we're going to lay it down here, and I got the screws all started. Now we're just going to finish putting them in. I'm going to kind of do it in a little cross hatch there, you know. We'll just get them down. I don't want to, you know, get them, you know. We'll just get them snug down a little bit. But we're going to screw those screws in all nice and evenly all the way across. And here we are, just giving these the last little final tightening down. You know, you want them to be snug, but you don't want them to be so tight that they're, you know, forcing anything together and stuff like that. Okay? So now we're going to flip it over. Take a look at it for the first time. Whoa, baby. She's looking good, looking good. All right, let's finish getting it put together. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the neck angle. I want to make sure that that neck is going to be in there right, so that when I proceed, you know, the strings are going to line up. And what I discovered here is that the neck is not in there right. It's a little bit high. That string, the straight edge, represents where the string is going to end up hitting the saddle. And as you can see, it's kind of high up there. That saddle is kind of popping up, and I'd never be able to adjust up that high, and then it would just be on the deck. So we got to adjust that neck a little bit, and we're going to put a little shim in there, just to shim it up just a little bit. But we're going to correct that problem, so that it's going to be nice. The flat will have some real nice low action on it. Alrighty, next thing we're going to do is we're going to get these controls in here. We're going to go ahead and wire this up. You see we got a piece of towel, of course, there. So we got a nice, you know, nice safe place to work. We're not going to get anything on there. And we're going to go ahead and put these controls on in there. And here we are, sinking that plate down. Got her in place. Got it all wired up. Get the screws. Get it all installed in there, looking good. Looks like we got to get the jack plate in there too. We're gonna put some. All right, there we are, putting some screws in the little jack plate there. Get that all in there real nice. We put a brand new Switchcraft switch in there. I mean, plug in there. It's a real nice one, nice and tight. Boy, I tell you, when I had to adjust it just a little bit because it was a little bit too tight to get the plug in there. We'll get those screws all tightened down right there. We got a little special treat coming up here. And here we're going to go ahead and install the switch tip. We got that all nice and cleaned up and stuff. Nothing so hard about that. You just stick it over the end there. Just like that right there. Drive it out. Give it a shot. Yeah, see? And then you want to check to make sure the action's all right on it. Okay? And the next thing we got to do is put some knobs on this. And guess what? We bought us some brand new knobs. Hey, hey, hey. You know, I seem to like those ones that have like the, you know, I'm calling it alabaster, but I don't think that's what it's called. But, you know, it's abalone. Yeah, that's what it's got, like the abalone lid on it, top on it. Man, them things are sure sharp. Let's see, let's get that on there. They got little set screws too. See what that looks like on there. Come on. Yeah, you gotta turn it a little bit. Turn it a little bit. Yeah, it don't matter. Stick it on there. Let's see what it looks like. Come on. Yeah, it's up loud. Stick it on there. Whoa, baby! There we go. Look at that beauty. Oh, man. Well, it looks like we got some strap locks we're going to put on there now. Nice little strap locks. He bought some nice big ones. You know, I don't know what the deal is with strap locks. You know, I see a lot of people want them. I've never really had any trouble with the strap coming off. And believe me, if I got a strap that I know is, getting loose, it's not used. I'm not using it on stage, and I'm not, flinging the guitar around when I use that. It's a nice tight one when I do that stuff. So we'll get these strap locks on there, make them really, but they do sure look nice. And there we go. We're just gonna get your finger out of the way. Hey, there we go. We're gonna put that right on the end there. No problem. Nice long screws for that. I think that's great. You need a long screw on there. And there we are, fitting that strap lock on there. We're going to set them off to the side. What are you saying? Alright, looks like we're about ready to put some strings on this thing. So, we got us a pair of, let's see what we got there, son. Show us what you got. They look like ernie balls. And I don't know if I ever stick it up there. Well, let's see them. Oh, we got side iron going. Oh, well, we're getting that out of the way, I think. And what we're doing is we're going to put those... Anyways, those strings are... oh, here we go. Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll. Slinky. 8 through 38. Yeah, those are some thin ones. And I know, when we get done with this thing, them thin strings are real nice. I like them. So we're going to go ahead and put these on here. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and set the string height here. And we're going to put just a little bit of tension on these strings. Not a whole lot, but we're going to get them so that they have some tension on them. I don't want them all loose. And what I have, this popsicle stick. I like using the wood stuff because it's, it's not magnetic, especially when you're using it around the pickups. And 2 millimeters, there is what we're going to set that top string to. And that just happens to be the thickness of a popsicle stick. So we're going to zoom in here a little bit. And you see where I got the Allen wrench there in the end of that, in the screw right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn that, and we're going to get it all nice and level, and we're going to turn that up until we get that string to be right at 2000s at the 12th fret. And once we get the top string set, then we go ahead and we do the same thing on the smaller E, but we set that to about 1.6, 1.5 millimeters. Just a little bit lower than the top string. The top string vibrates a little bit more, so it needs a little bit more room to vibrate. So we're going to go ahead and adjust that so that it's right at the right height. Now, once we get the outside strings set where we want them, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to adjust the rest of the bridge across there. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a radius tool to bring all those strings right into the same radius as what the frets are, so that everything is right there where it should be. Now we're going to raise the string up just a little bit. I've already done the first few strings, and we're going to raise this one up. And what we do is we raise the strings up, and then we take our radius tool with our little tiny feeler gauge again, and we're trying to see, we're making the string touch the feeler gauge all the way across. So if the string's not touching the feeler gauge, we know we had to bring it up a little bit. And what that does is it matches the string radius to the fret radius, so that the fret or the string is always the same height off of the fret. So your consistency, you want to carry that radius all everywhere. So we're going to make sure that all of them are right there with the same radius as the fretboard. Makes a smooth action. That's all part of giving it the mojo. Oh yeah. And now that we got that done, we went ahead and got that all in there. We're going to stretch these strings a little bit. Now these are brand new strings, and we're going to start to tune this thing up, see how we're looking. We should be right about on the home stretch here. We got to cut the nut, but we're going to give these a little bit of a stretch. But we're giving them a little stretch. We're going to start getting them in tune. We got to have it in tune to cut the nut. So we're going to try to get these strings all stretched. And what you do when you stretch the strings is you stretch them like you've seen right there. Then you tune them up, and you stretch them again, and then you tune them up, and you keep tuning and stretching until when you stretch them, it just barely takes them out of tune. you know, there's hardly any. Or, you know, not at all. And that's the way you know you got all the stretch out of the string. So that's the next step you do. Real easy to do. Well, we went ahead and got the nut all cut just the way we wanted it. And now what we're doing is we're checking the tune of each string up and down the neck. We're going to play each note, and we're going to take a look at our tuner, and we're going to make sure that each one of those notes is playing just right. And if they're not, that means that the nut still just needs a little bit more adjustment. And see, there we are checking it with the feeler gauge right there. Those strings should be at about 13 thousandths right there. That's how you know that you're doing real good. There we go. This shows a little bit better how we go ahead and do that. See, we take and we cut that out just a little bit. We lower that nut slot down so that the string is 13 thousandths of an inch off of the fret. And then we just move the string back in there, and see, we check it with the feeler gauge. And what we'll do is we'll just pluck the string a little bit, and if it buzzes, when we stick the feeler gauge underneath here, if it buzzes, you know, on the feeler gauge, we know we got it just where we want it. And we just get them all the way across there. And what that does, that seems to be the height that makes every note play perfectly in tune up and down the neck. And once we got that right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the intonation, which is going to be the last thing.
Okay.
All right, we got Jason here, and he's gonna let's say hi to the camera, Jason.
Hi to the camera.
Hey, and he's the guy we've been talking about. And this is his guitar here, and well, this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Jason's gonna go ahead and open this up. So go ahead and there you have at it there.
Wow, it's way better than I thought. That's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It really is awesome. Like, I don't know where these knobs came from, but they look awesome.
Yeah, well, I picked out a couple of knobs for you there. That was the fourth attempt at getting the front of it right.
Looks great.
Plays like a dream.
Yeah?
Yeah. Want to try it out?
Yeah.
All right. I tell you what, let's give her a shot. We'll get you all set up. We'll be right back. All right, let's hear it. Spin around this way a little bit there, Jason. There we go, yeah. Get a good look at you. You gotta get the sign in the background.
Yeah, that's feels great. Way better than it was before. Like, yeah.
Might be slightly out of tune right now.
Well,
but it should be, you know, pretty close.
a little.
Oh yeah.
Sounds great, yeah.
Nice and smooth. I love them pickups. That pickup sounded real good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you about all the other stuff here once we get but yeah, it's playing real nice. I was happy. I talked to you earlier. I was kind of, I didn't know how you were going to like it, but it turned out all right, I think. I figured I better make it play real good, too, you know, in case you didn't like what it looked like.
It looks great. It feels great. The back is super cool. Is this like a natural or like a reddish tint?
Yeah, it's a natural.
Yeah.
I just stained it, you know. I mean, that wood took to the stain a little bit different, you know, as you can see on the front, too. Some of it stained up real dark.
Yeah.
And some of it stained up real light, you know.
Yeah.
And I tried to get a little bit of a darker border around the outside of it and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plays great.
Oh yeah, another satisfied customer, eh? Yep. That's right. That's how we do them around here.
The neck feels awesome.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's the whole ball of wax right there. If that neck's not right, that feels like a seasoned pro.
Yeah.
It does.
There's like all the fret edges are rolled. There's no sharp like pinpoint, nothing. The action is extremely
Yep.
like it's low, but it doesn't buzz.
Nope. That's because you get it nice and level. And I had to shim the neck a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. You can, as you see right there in the crack of that. If you look right up in the top there, you can see there's a little shim in there.
Well, you're the professional.
You know, you got to check that angle and stuff like that. Make sure that, you know, once you get some strings on there, the saddle's not going to be, you know, this high off the boards. And that's what it would have done. It would have never reached.
It's awesome.
But yep, we got her all taken care of. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell you what, let's try it. Let's try it clean here. What do you say?
Yeah.
There you go. Give that a whirl. Yeah, there we go. My makeshift camera work here.
Yeah. I'm terrible at that.
That's all right. You'll be learning fast because you have that one sitting next to you all the time, picking it up, it's playing nice and smooth. You'll learn nice and quick. Be like Yngwie Malmsteen in no time.
Right. That's great.
Yep.
It's a little out,
Nice.
I forgot everything. Now you put me
Nice.
on the spot.
Yeah, well, that's all right. We'll probably just wrap it up here, and satisfied customer, you know. And like I said, if anybody has a guitar they need taken care of, man, we do good work. This guy's loving every bit of it. So, adios for now from Mojo Shop Guitar,
See y'all.
baby. Yeah. Thank you for watching Mojo Shop Guitar. Please like and subscribe.